before I hit play, I just got to say this. I forgot. You got me off track. You were talking about your books, how they would take it and you just wouldn't make no money off of it. Are you so stupid that you don't remember reading your first book? You were so proud that you actually read it and narrated it because someone told you that you had the voice for reading. So you read your own book on your own channel. So if I can find it, I started looking for it, but it's going to take a while because you got thousands and thousands of videos out there. I got to scramble through them and see if I can find it. And if I can, I'll go ahead and I'll make sure I link that because I've learned how to do that. I'm so proud of myself. So let's see if I can get through the rest of this. I thought this one video would probably just take care of all of them today because it just really it kind of got on my nerves just a little bit. Let's see.
From to death, or until they run away and the bullies choose more victims to steal from and profit off of and push to suicide. They're now trying to say I'm really scared of these court transcripts being read. I do not care.
If you didn't care, you wouldn't be saying anything. Just like if I didn't care what you said, or if anything that you had said had been true, I wouldn't have come on here and said anything. Why would I take that chance on the truth coming out? I wouldn't, because I'm not that dumb. I perceive some people think I'm dumb, but I'm not that dumb. You you are scared. I'm not. I have. We all have our own ideas as to what you're scared about, but I'm scared. I believe that you have lied for the last, I don't know how many years you've been on YouTube. You've been on here longer than you admit to. You have lied about everything, and the one thing that is easy, the transcripts, which is different than what has already been read. You don't seem to understand that. These transcripts that Original Al is getting is every single word that was spoken and taken down by the court reporter. So if there's any lying going to be told, it's going to be the lies that you've told. No one else, because she will read them straight from the paper. So any lies, they're yours. They're not hers. They're not nobody else's. They are your lies that are being exposed. That in itself has got you in a tizzy because it's going to expose you to even more people. Because I have a feeling it's going to be really big. It's gonna be a big doorway, and I'm afraid you're not gonna get to walk through it. You're gonna be walking it back. But that's just the beauty of, you've set all this up for yourself. So I hope that you get something to drink and get ready for the choking, because you probably gonna get. It's gonna be hard to swallow that popcorn of yours, when it finally comes around.
If you're going to put me in jail, put me in jail. But if you think you're going to do that off of court transcripts that you paid for, you think you're going to go to the police and say, here it is, we have the evidence. You think they don't know what's in those court transcripts. It's been to court already.
And you don't, that right there tells me you do listen to some of what is on their shows, because I'm pretty sure I've heard all of them say this. Exactly what you just said. These are transcripts from the trial that has already taken place. The decision was made. So you do listen to them. You don't want to admit to it, but you thought, well, that sounds about right. So you just went on to repeat it, which, proud for you. You actually picked up something. But that's not your worry, and that's not their intention. The intention is that you, just by the show of that face of yours and the lies and the tone that you project out there to people, it's the only way to legally just slap the crap out of you. Do you understand that? You provoke that feeling in people because you don't listen. You just make it up as you go along, and you do know better. Now, I've seen some people on YouTube that seriously have some issues, and I couldn't say anything to them because they really have issues. But now, do they need to be on a platform? No, because when you're out here destroying other normal people's lives, you don't need to be on here. There should be some kind of evaluation. But you want to get rid of all the normal people and leave it where it's just the liars and thieves and destruction on any platform. That's your goal, because you don't want nobody coming up against you. Well, that probably ain't never going to happen either. I forgot where I was going, because you seem to do that to me. That's what I mean. You just invoke these feelings in people. So, no, it's not that nobody wants to change anything that's in there. It's kind of going to be a revealing process because you have told so many stories. And as far as the police, there only might be one part of this whole thing that the police do not know about that could possibly be an interest to them. I don't know. You might have got them to the point where they're scared to put you in custody because they might beat the crap out of you. You know, they can't get on YouTube. They'd probably have to really take a smack at you. Is the fact that you wrote that book. And please, just because you took it down don't mean that people don't have it. I mean, I have it. You put it out there as the truth. In fact, you argued with me about it. And I contacted the people that put it on their website. I've done everything. And so you push, that's the truth. That is your true truth. So that's your truth. Well, maybe they might want to hear your truth because your truth does not agree to what we have already read. That's one other thing real quick is, I don't know if you truly had been victimized, as you said. I'm going to tell you something, how we are as a family, how we've always been. And if there's a problem with it, with any of us, we'd get on that phone and it was, we'd come together to support or just give advice or whatever we needed to do, cook, whatever. But the thing about that whole murdering spree and lying things you were doing, I don't even think you know what really, you done mixed it up so bad. It's funny that was all held from all of us except for one. And I find that very interesting. Because if you had truly been through what you had claimed, I know I would have gotten a phone call because she would have needed help. She wouldn't have asked her brother to drive to court every day with her and help her get in that wheelchair and go in there and pretend to be needy. She wouldn't have done that. If you had really been innocent, completely, she would have called for help, just as she always has. So, that it bothers me that it took me a while to find out what was going on because I knew my mom was troubled. I just didn't, it took my other daughter to kind of dig a little bit and found out. So, there's a lot of things you don't want out there. There's a lot of things you don't want to be revealed that's going to be. Well, and I think I've caught up with that.
And what happened in court was he confessed and is now serving life in prison for the crime that he committed. And no matter how many times you go back over it again and again and again, unless you're shuffling words to create...
And let me just say this too. You said he's in there that from a crime that he committed and he confessed to. But if I think these transcripts will probably tell this part of the story too. He also confessed to the messaging between you and him prior to the day of. Because the messages were brought up, the emails and the text messaging were brought up between the two of you, and your computer was conveniently destroyed, and it wasn't an old computer as previously thought. It was I believe it was like a year old. You got it for your birthday the year before, and then after this happened, I don't know what you did with the money they gave you to replace it, but I know she bought you another one because I made a comment. I remember making it. You just bought her one last year. What happened to it? I figured you pawned it or something. This is before I knew the whole story. So, there, that was odd to me, And that would have been the other thing. I can imagine my mother, under the circumstances, would not want me there. Because, I'm not quite sure if I had enough compassion for you back then to have held back the truth. I wouldn't have been good for you. I wonder, if my guess is they were told that no, nobody else existed, because they wouldn't want nobody else to contact anybody else, because someone else, any of them could have slipped up and told the truth, but I would have. I mean, my mother would have had to have really, really twisted my heart for me to go in there and tell anything other than the truth about everything. Your actions, the things that you'd done previously. I might just end this one here, but I want to say this too, because the day you were talking about your criminal record, and I heard it the other day, and it just tickled me because I thought, Lord, I didn't know if anybody else knew about that. The money, you said the time you've been arrested a few times, but you said you stole the money from a guy who wanted drugs. No, you stole it from the cop that you were trying to buy the drugs from. I think the boyfriend set you up to get busted, because that's... And you ran all the way back to your Meemaw's house for her to save you. They knocked on the door to get you. Remember? I do. Because that was the funniest story I think I've heard in a while. I mean, you have done some stuff that have made me just kind of like, good Lord, can we take it back? I mean, I didn't have you, so I couldn't refund you. But if I could have, I would have. You'd been refunded. Well, look, this is done, ran into another 12 minutes, so let me just end this right here. If I think of anything else, it'll just have to be part 3. Why don't you do yourself a favor? Either do what you say or go away. Because you go away and all these problems will end. Your problem with me will end. Unless I see you on any of the other platforms that I see you on. And then we'll be on again. Quit attacking people. Eventually, it's going to come back to bite you. Just keep that in mind. You've gotten away with it, and you've gotten away with a lot of lies for a lot of years, but it's about to turn on you, and it's going to bite you. And you're going to have nowhere to turn. I mean, you don't even say you're sorry. Just go on. You're a liar. Whether you admit it or not, you're a liar. And that's what you need help for. You need to go in there and tell your doctors what you really are. And get it over with.